Hey y'all, welcome to Monday Night Live. I am a little excited about this call and to lead this call because I'm going to interview you tonight. I'm Emily Huss, by the way, if you don't know me, Emerald Ambassador, but I'm going to be interviewing my two new jewels, which is in and of itself kind of crazy to say, but not unexpected at the same time because it's what I have prayed for since the very beginning. And so to be here and have it happening in real life, prayers being answered, is the most incredible thing. So excited to lead this call tonight to let y'all hear from Haley and Katie, who are just fabulous, and I love them to death. What you're gonna pick up on tonight is a couple of things. First of all, I didn't know either one of them when they started 2.5 years ago. But as they're talking, you're probably going to pick up on a couple of things, like they are polar opposites in every way humanly possible. Haley is introvert, very deep thinker about all the things. Katie is extrovert, go, like make the decision and we'll think about it later kind of. So they are very different, and they have different ways of working their businesses, different ways they lead their teams, but they work very well together and they have both figured out how to be successful here. So don't think you have to have a certain personality, a certain anything, or that you have to be somebody else to be successful here, because what you're going to hear tonight is they are very different, but they have both been very successful. So what I wanted to get them to share with y'all first is just a quick look at their timelines, when they joined, when they hit certain ranks, those kinds of things. So Haley, go ahead and give us a look at your timeline and let's see where you go. This is Haley Arnold, Emerald Ambassador.
Oh, that's so crazy. Thank you so much. Okay. So quick timeline. I joined December 29th of 2020, went silver January 1st of 2021. So like 36 hours later before I had my products. And actually several people that joined ended up getting their products before I did. So that was really interesting. And then senior silver, January 2021 also, gold in February, senior gold in March, ruby in April, senior ruby in May, and emerald 2 years later, May of 2023.
I love that. So Haley came in and went fast start senior ruby, which was really fun and exciting and inspired a whole lot of people. So yeah, we're gonna leave that there for a minute and come back. Okay, Katie Wiggins, Emerald Ambassador, give us a look at your timeline when you got started, all the things.
Oh, I don't know if I'll get tired of hearing that. So I joined January 29th of 2021, and I didn't get my products either, and I already had 3 joins before I went silver, got my products, and double ranked in February of 2021, fast start silver and fast start senior silver. March, I went fast start gold. April went fast start senior gold. This is all 2021 still. May, I had a point goal, and then June 2021, I went fast start ruby. And then fast forward to May 2023, I hit emerald. So
yay, I love it.
Well, I forgot about senior ruby. I never hit. Okay, so March of 2023, I hit senior ruby, and then May hit emerald.
Perfect. I love it. Well, I'm inspired by both of y'all for lots of reasons, but one is that you started sharing and went silver before either one of you got your products. And so I think that speaks volumes, because one of the big objections we hear is, I need my own results first. I would like to have my own story. And you two are complete proof that you don't have to have your own story. You don't even have to have your own products, right? Because you can come in, start sharing, and just go from there. So let me ask you this. When you started, did you have any intention to start sharing? And what made you decide to start sharing?
So, yeah, okay, I'll go. Okay, so Emily and I got on the phone. I had watched Emily on Facebook for a while, and I had done a little bit of my own research trying to find something other than Plexus to help with my problems. And I finally said, okay, listen, she is still sharing about this. There has got to be something to this. So consistency works, if y'all were wondering. And when I talked to her on the phone, she said, okay, so if you love your products, are you going to tell people about them? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. Maybe not. Let me just try first. And we hung up the phone and I was like, let's just put it out there. Why not? And so that's kind of just how I got started sharing. I started the products because I was just always the person that never felt good. I had stomach issues, skin issues, headaches all the time. I remember after about 2 months on Plexus, I almost said, I don't feel good. And then it hit me. No, I actually do feel good. Like I just was in the habit of saying I don't feel good for so long that it was crazy to actually feel good. So I started sharing just because Emily told me, hey, you can make $400 if you share with 3 friends. And I'm like, oh, cool. But then I kept sharing because I realized, wow, like this, my friends that started around the same time as I did, they were also feeling good. And I had read lots of testimonies that encouraged us to keep going. And then I started just really realizing, it actually might be my new normal to feel good. And that was amazing.
Awesome. What about you, Katie? Did you intend to share when you came in, and what made you decide to do that?
So I never intended to share, but I got on a welcome call with Haley and Emily. And if y'all have never talked to Emily about dreams, she will make you dream. Even if you wasn't dreaming, you dreaming by the end of that phone call. And so she made it possible for me I had dreams, but it was just like, your kids, they dream to go to Disney World and all the things. I was like, you make that come true. I was an adult and I was like, my dreams, they're just there. They won't happen. But I am here to say that your dreams can happen because I am all in confidence that my dream will come true. But she put that out there, did not know me by the next person. And she put that out there for me. And to have that much confidence and not know me, I was like, she hadn't seen me work, I don't reckon. So right then and there, I called 3 people and I was already silver. So I was like, okay. So then it was contagious because I love to talk to people. And I've always worked with people, whether it be patients, whether it be just customers, all the things. So it was right up my alley. But then getting into it and to have people come to you and say, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I was here for the long haul.
I love that, Katie. And I had not ever, I didn't know you from anybody, and I sure had never seen you work. If I had, I might would have even talked a little bigger if I'd have known what we had on the other end of the phone there.
I need to add here real quick how you
it.
got me on the phone with Brittany and my husband. We talk about husbands a lot. Well, I told Jody that Emily told me that Brittany wanted to meet me on the phone or like talk on the phone. I was like, what? Why does she want to talk to me? Like, this is amazing. And so just like you said, meeting more people through this, like Katie, got to talk to you, and then I got to talk to you and Brittany. Like, it made a ginormous difference. I totally back up everything Katie said. Both of you really encourage the dreaming that I had never even thought about.
I love that. And I do remember when y'all came in and were just flying through the ranks. I mean, we were doing welcome call after welcome call. I mean, that would just like tons of them, every week. And that makes a huge difference. So I love hearing that. Okay. So I want to know next what I'm going to jump around on our questions that I gave y'all, but I want to know what has been your biggest hurdle here, or what was your biggest fear that could have kept you from going all in and being successful?
My biggest hurdle was by far my brain. And you mentioned that I am a very deep thinker. And so when I jumped into this, that was very much against how I normally do things. And everything went super fast. And so I didn't really have time to stop and think like I normally would want to do. And so along the way, these thoughts would pop in my head, and I didn't know how to deal with these thoughts, which is one thing that kept me here, honestly, is because we had training on how to think differently, and that is what I needed. And so that was by far, or has been by far, my biggest hurdle. I remember them saying that this business was 80% mindset, 20% skill set a million times. But the first time I heard that, I thought, okay, well, I mean, I'm real determined. Like, I got that part. I can do this. But I didn't realize what exactly they meant by that. There would be lots of other mindset things I had to overcome. And my biggest fear, it was actually being where I am now. And which is funny because I knew how to recruit people. And I mean, I enjoyed, people getting on the products and that kind of thing, but it wasn't really, I felt like there was more, but then I was terrified to get to where I am now, because that meant I had to actually lead other people and help other people grow their business. And I didn't know if I could do that. I really did not know. Like I said, my mind and my, just thoughts. I mean, I could barely run my own household. How was I going to lead a team? So, but what's funny about that is where I am now, I love so much, like so much love helping my team find their vision and build their own teams, reach their goals. So what I was fearful of the most is actually what I have come to love the most. So don't let what you're afraid of keep you from getting there, because it might actually be what you love.
Yes, I remember many conversations where we talked about that, where you just didn't know if you had what it took to lead, or, you were just so fearful of that. And it is where you shine brightest, casting vision and helping your girls reach their goals and just go a little further than they thought. So I love that. And I love watching you do that. All right, Katie, what is your biggest hurdle or biggest fear that could have kept you from going all in and being successful?
My biggest hurdle would probably be my own mindset. I am a goal setter, and I am a go-getter, if y'all did not know. And for me not to hit a goal when I set it really set me back. But I do not have quit in my vocabulary, so I wasn't going to quit by no means. So I had to learn to grow. I had to learn to get out of, I'm an extrovert, but I'm an introvert when it comes to growing. I did not want to get out of my bubble. And so I had to take that and learn and implement. So that was my biggest hurdle, because I had a lot of different things come at me, whether it be business-wise, family-wise. Y'all might can relate to this. I had family members that did not understand why I was doing this. They're like, why are you putting in all this work and you're not near where you think you should be? And I'm like, you just hang on. I'll get there. And I was so determined. You don't tell me I ain't going somewhere. And so when, after convention of last year, I started implementing every training, every book study, and putting it all to use. Now, I would say my fear in all of this was probably my own self, fear of failing, because I don't necessarily like to fail. I had to learn to fail forward. And I learned that here in Plexus because y'all, I was an x-ray tech for 11 years, and everything I did in that, I succeeded and went to the top there too. But it was not as complex as it's been with Plexus. I had to grow. And so with that, I had to learn myself. So fear of failing was my fear, and failing forward is what helped me get through that. So
I love that, Katie. And it was such an experience watching you go through that, because I know last year was very hard for you, because you were not where you wanted to be and you felt stuck. And most people would have quit. But you dug your heels in. And like you said, you don't have quit in you. And I respect that a ton. But I remember seeing call after call where you didn't think anybody could see you, and you would just sit there with tears running down your face because you wanted this so bad. You were so hungry to figure it out, and that's what you did. You quit resisting the personal growth, and instead you just ate it up and went and implemented the things. And that's what now, when everybody looks at you, they see, oh my gosh, where did this come from? Like, this just happened, overnight. It did not happen overnight. It was a process, and you dug into it so much. So I'm beyond proud of you for that. Okay, so that was your fear and your biggest hurdles. So I want to hear what do you think your greatest strength is that has helped you find success here?
Okay. I think my greatest strength has been, well, I've always loved to write. And so this kind of gave me a reason to put some things maybe out there that I don't know, maybe wouldn't have otherwise. But I have tried to connect with people on social media through writing. And I really do enjoy that. Even if it's one person that comes to me and says, like, that really inspired me, then I'm like, okay, like we talked about our definition of success, that is when I feel successful, is when and I have to believe too that even if nobody ever says anything, there still may be somebody out there that can relate. But that's what I enjoy. I have found that I do think that has been a strength. And I feel like a strength that I'm still growing in, but definitely was probably a weakness that I'm turning into a strength, is offering new perspectives for people, which is the complete opposite of what I normally would do. Because you tell me something, and have y'all seen that meme? It's like, I just want peace. Like, if you say 2 + 2 is 5, fine. That's kind of how I was. Like, listen, if that's how you feel about it, then okay. But now I kind of hear things and I'm like, okay, hold on just a second. I totally understand what you're saying, but let's think about a different perspective to that. Because that's what Emily has done for me, which blew my mind, because I was like, wow, that actually does make sense. And that helped me grow so much. So I don't know if that's a total strength yet, but I'm working on it because I think it's very important.
Well, I do think it is a strength, 100%, because a lot of times people have never had anybody challenge their perspective, and that's how they get stuck in the rut that they're in, or the place that they're in, even if it's not a rut, is because nobody has challenged their perspective. So I do think that is a strength. But yes, your social media and writing skills, definitely a strength of yours. And I would add to that, casting vision for people is also a good strength, a big strength of yours. So Love hearing that. Katie, what would you say your strengths are that have made you successful?
My strengths would be excitement and the conversations in person. I do love a good conversation, and I do love having the excitement and the contagious of it to show people what these products have done for myself, and also an area where I had to grow in, because my belief was there. I just don't know why I didn't share it the way I did, but was to share the business in person and the excitement of it and all those things. I do like to be excited about things that I love, and my team can vouch for me on that, because I am rubbing off on all of them, because they all are talking to everybody out in the world. And so, and they all have great excitement too. So.
Yes, excitement is definitely a strength of yours. You are very contagious, and I have seen you work in person, and it blows my mind. We were shopping for gala dresses, and Katie's in the dressing room talking to the girl working at the store about these cowgirl boots she had on. And next thing I know, she's got her phone number and they're talking triplex. I was like, teach me your ways, Katie. So I love that. And it definitely is a strength. And it is, your team is doing the same. And that's why y'all are growing like you are. So I love that so much. Okay. So right now, y'all are both on the mountaintop. You are seeing all the success in your business. Your girls are having success. Your teams are growing. But what I want to know is, when you were not on that mountaintop, and y'all both saw quick success when you came in, but then you were both in valleys, as all of our businesses are at different points. What is it that kept you going when you were not on those mountaintops, when you were having hard times, or maybe not even like super hard, but just not moving as quick, or as, you weren't where you wanted to be yet? What kept you going during those times?
So I have a couple of things, but I think the main thing, when I was thinking about this, I tell my team this like all the time, I feel like. So I guess it's what I have really internalized, but you just don't ever know what's around the corner or who's around the corner. I mean, around the corner, points might dip and Sally might dip out and all these bad things, whatever. But I'm gonna choose not to think about those things. You don't ever know who is around the corner that is waiting on you, that needs this, and that is looking for this, or looking for a friend like you to speak life into them, to show them new possibilities, to help them dream again. Those are the people that I am believing are around the corner. There's actually a quote that I think about a lot, and it says, it's from Anne of Green Gables, which is my favorite. I don't know what lies around the bend, but I'm going to believe that the best does. And I just saw in the chat somebody put from Atomic Habits, I don't know if y'all can see this, but the Valley of Despair. And I had that in my hand because that's one thing I was going to mention. But we looked at that not long after I started Plexus, and I have held on to it the whole time, because it prepared me, or, showed me that there would be a time of despair, but that you could climb out. Mm-hmm. Because if you know me and you know some of my family members, I think just like my daddy. And when when our brain goes down the valley of despair, it's like, well, I don't really know if there's a way out or not. There might be, there might not be. And I have really had to train my brain that, okay, no, there definitely is. And you can find out how to do it and how to get out. And so as many times as I dip down, I know that I can go back up and that I won't feel that way forever. So I've really held on to that. I know that there is better coming. And then there's also that little graphic about the little guy chipping away, digging, and he was so close. And if you don't keep going, you just don't know what you're missing. I think about that a lot too. And then, honestly, I compare it to talking to people about Jesus and salvation. I know that God can radically change lives. Is everybody going to believe what I say? No, they're not. But does that keep me from sharing it? No, it doesn't. Just because not everybody is convinced doesn't mean that everybody doesn't need to hear it. And that's how I view it. And so those are the main things that have kept me going.
I love it. I love it. Katie?
So I'm a red. So y'all gonna get a not that in-depth answer from me. So for me, y'all, it was community. I look to y'all. Y'all are my besties. Y'all have kept me going. I've had so many people say that I haven't inspired them. Every single one of y'all inspire me every single day. I mean, I could go into tears and just talking about each and every one of y'all of what maybe y'all had a post. I normally try to tell anybody what they have done for me or what you posted or whatever, but I have made some true friends here, and living in a small town, doing something that people don't approve of, that is not, you do not, do you think I've heard one congratulations from somebody that's not in my Plexus bubble from this town? So that just tells you, I don't want to cry, but this community, it was tough for me last year, and I wasn't going to quit, but having y'all was just what I needed, and God knew I needed y'all. And so that's why I've stayed here.
Oh, I love it, Katie. I love you. And this community definitely loves you, and you have inspired so many. It is evident how much you love this community because you give so much to people all over our team that don't benefit you in any kind of way. And that speaks volumes about your character, but also just how much you love and how deeply you love this community. And I know that is absolutely reciprocated. So I'm so proud of you. But okay, moving on. We're almost out of time, and I have so many more questions, but we're not going to keep y'all all night. But I want to know couple more questions. If you had one word of encouragement for everybody watching, whether they are just like charging hell with a water pistol, like I'm going no matter what, or whether they're sitting there thinking, I just don't know if I can do this. If you had one word of encouragement for them, what would it be?
Oh man, I have so many notes.
That's the writer in you, Haley.
Huh?
I said that's the writer in you.
I know. Well, I feel like there's lots I want to say, but I'm trying to answer that question the best. I guess I'm going to try to keep this short, but my one word would be vision. And for yourself, yes, but it's also bigger than that. Like I still don't know my whole vision, but what I do know is I love helping other people find theirs. And so that is huge. And I know parts of my vision, but you have to have some kind of vision. If the reason you're doing this, if you can't find a why and a vision, then you're not going to take the steps. And so dig deep, find what fires you up and why you want to dig into this. One thing, and that's a whole other, going back to timeline things, but my husband quit his job. He swapped careers completely. I did the same thing. And that was the first time that I had not, that I didn't have a teaching job that was like a steady, predictable income. And so part of my vision then grew a lot bigger to help my husband and for him to have more time freedom, for us to have more time freedom. And so it's like I've been developing my vision the whole time, but also really trying to help other people see that they can have their own vision. And also, real fast, I would say that this is a personal growth business. You rise by lifting others. And that I read something the other day that talked about labels. If you are feeling like you can't do this because you're not this, you're not that, you are this, you are that, whatever, I really want to say, just rip the label off. Like, you don't have to be that way, but I know it's not that simple. It's like a Band-Aid. You go to pull it off and then you're like, ow, that hurts. Let me put it back on a little bit. Let's pull it off a little bit more. That's really painful. Let's put it back on. And so be patient with yourself, but know that you don't have to stay, you don't have to keep those labels on you. My whole entire life, I've been called a worrier. And my whole family, that's how they knew me. I worry about everything. And finally I was like, you know what? I'm real tired of hearing that. I'm really tired of that. And so it's taken a bit, but I'm pulling the label off. Not a worrier. I'm hopeful and I'm full of faith and I am believing for the best. And so just be patient with yourself and tell yourself positive affirmations, whatever you need to do daily. Because I promise you, when those points hit 1,500 in a little Jerry J's restaurant or wherever you are, you're going to reflect on all the pain and the struggles and all the things, and it's going to be worth it.
Very good. And I have definitely seen you firsthand pulling that Band-Aid off. In fact, tonight Haley texted me and was like, it's storming here, but it's all okay. And normally if it is a raindrop, she, is like in a full-blown panic mode because the house is going to fall down. They got to get in their safe room. Like, everybody's got to have on their helmets in the bathtub kind of situation. So we've seen a lot of growth. She's speaking from experience here, what she's telling you. Okay, Katie, what would be your one word of encouragement for everybody listening?
Grit. And I say this because if you find your grit, you ain't gonna stop, and you're not going to let anything get in your way. The whatever might be said, whatever thoughts that are in your head, the grit's going to come ahead of it, and you're going to be like, I'm going to do this. And you've just got to put the work forward, put one foot in front of the other, and learn as you go. I grew and I learned. I grew some more. I learned some more, and I'm still growing and still learning. So you never give up. The grit will always come in, and I always say, give yourself grace. You can have all the grit in the world, but if you don't give yourself grace, then the grit will fall. So you've got to give yourself a grace period. I did want to share with y'all. I shared with some of y'all, but I'm gonna share it again. I feel like if y'all hear it 3 times, y'all do it when y'all get to convention. Y'all that's going to convention, if they have a photo area, which I hope they do, if not, I'll draw them on some pieces of paper. I need y'all to pick up a jewel of some sort, whatever you want to go for, whether it be emerald, sapphire, or diamond, and take a picture with it. Because last year, y'all, I was at convention and Emily's like, take a picture. It'll inspire you. It'll do all the things. And when I was up there taking this picture, you can tell by my posture, I'm like, okay, whatever, because I was barely a ruby. Holding ruby points. And I was like, okay, I'll take this picture. And so then I had it on my board, but then she framed it for me and I put it on my desk. I took everything down, y'all, off my board and just looked at this picture. And that is what inspired me. I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to get there. And so here I am. I'm going to replace this cardboard jewel with a real jewel. And every single one of y'all can do that. If I need to be y'all's coach, I can. But every single one of y'all can do that. And I'll be there and I'll take y'all's picture with this jewel. And I just want y'all to know that it is doable. And then I am just a small town country girl. I even wore my pigtails for y'all. Y'all so can do this. There is nobody that can't do this. You just have to put your grit forward. And that is my motivational speaking at the moment. So
I love it, Katie. I love it. I love it. And yes, I 100% echo exactly what you just said. Put yourself in that spot with the emerald and look at where you are. Every year that I have been to convention, I have stolen the seat back covers, because in the jewel diamond section for convention, They have seat covers and they say emerald and sapphire and diamond. Find a seat cover and take your picture with it. I'm telling you, it does something in your mind to see yourself in that spot, just like it did for you, Katie. And I love this. And you are definitely a picture of grit and resilience and grace. And it's been a joy and an honor watching you walk through this. So, very last question. Has this been easy and has it been worth it?
It has not been easy. It has not been easy. And I guess my journey did not go how I expected. I would just put it that way. But when we came in and things were going really well, I even went to convention. It was a small convention in Charleston because of COVID. Was on top of the world speaking about winning Silver Stars. If y'all don't know what that is, it is an award for the top 5 ambassadors in the company who developed the most silvers. I remember I got that call while I was at school and that I had won that. And it was just the best moment. And so I was on top of the world speaking about that at convention. That was in June of 2021. And anyway, in October, baby number 3, surprise, and house building and all the things. And so my brain just, it was tough. It was tough for lots of reasons. But overall, I mean, obviously, I would absolutely say that it has been worth it 100%. And I will say through all that, Emily, you just having the patience of Job and checking in on me. And I remember all my conversations with Emily, y'all, if first of all, it taught me a lot about being patient with other people and respecting the season that they're in. Now I'm going to cry. No, I'm not. It really kind of just shocked me how wonderful she was during that time. It was hard. But she hung with me. I remember, so when I quit my job in the summer, I resigned from teaching 2nd grade for 9 years, knew it was the right thing to do. But that fall, when everybody else went back to school and I didn't, it was very hard. And in November, though, after I had these, just panic attacks in September, October, and just felt like my world was crumbling, she invited me to a Thanksgiving. I think it was a Thanksgiving thing at her house. And I was like, yes, I want to come. I want to come. And it was such a just moment in my brain of like, okay, you can do this. You got this. She's still here. She's still hanging with you. And so it's totally been worth it. And overall, because at the end of the day, it's bigger than just me. It's bigger than just me and my journey. And it really kind of hit me during that time, like, what good is it just playing small, listening to all the, the devil likes to lie to us. That's not helping anybody. And so overcoming that, having her with me, that's what's really just made it all worth it. Like, getting here is unbelievable, really unbelievable. But just seeing how it impacts other people is what really is just showing me that it's been so worth it. Sorry, that was really long.
I love that, Haley. And I want to tell y'all something. When you find somebody, even if you don't know them from anybody, and there's something in your spirit that says, that girl, like, keep an eye on her, pursue her, all the things, do it. I have a screenshot on my phone. I don't know if y'all can see. This is from 2018. This is Haley's profile. I didn't know her from anybody. Nobody. And I saw this in my Facebook, and I saw her and I was like, huh, she looks like somebody that I need on my team to go be a diamond. And I screenshotted it and I friended her, and apparently reached out to her at some point and then dropped the ball. And then a whole year later, she popped up in my inbox again. And now here she is, the first jewel on my team. So when God drops somebody in your heart, listen. That's what I want to tell y'all. Okay, Katie, has it been easy? Has it been worth it?
It has not been easy, but it does not have to be the end of the world if you think it gets too hard. Again, grit. So you can push through the hard times and it can get easier. And then you learn again and then it gets easy again. You just got to have that positivity for it. And so worth it.
So worth it. And I think with you, Katie, you just always knew where you were headed. And so it was, you had that, this is hard. Like, why is it so hard? But I know where I'm going. And so I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out and I'm going. And you don't have any quit in you. And one of my favorite quotes, Babe Ruth's, you just can't beat the person who refuses to quit. And that is you all day, every day. So I am so unbelievably proud of y'all. My heart could burst into a million pieces. So different, Haley and Katie, but yet you're both successful here. And your stories, your journeys are really just beginning. And there's so much more to come. And I know that even to this point where you are has inspired so many people. And that ripple effect is only going to grow and grow and grow. And you will never see the end of it. I mean, you just don't know who you're impacting. And so every person on here, dig in, believe, and let this success that you're seeing from others inspire the heck out of you to go and do the things. So that's all. Appreciate y'all hanging with us. We went a little long tonight, but sometimes it's just worth it. So good night.